So I named you the greatest of all time in Jordan. I named you the most dominant of all time in Shaq. Both them guys have sons, played Division One, and they couldn't get their kids drafted. Their second round pick is solely based off potential. This guy has something that we can develop and get it out of him. Can he shoot? Yes. Can he dribble? Yes. Can he pass? Yes. Is he smart? Yes. Can he play defense? Yes. Is he athletic? Yes. We just say yes to pretty much every crucial part of being an NBA player. And we're back. Scoop's World Sports. I'm your host, Scoop, the #1 sports historian in the world. And today's subject, Bronny James, also known as LeBron James Jr. LeBron Raymond Bronny James Jr. Stay tuned. So as everybody knows, Bronny James just got drafted. Second round to the Lakers. A lot of controversy because we all know who plays for the Lakers and the potential reason why the Lakers drafted him, his dad, LeBron. But we'll get to that. The main question right now is, how did Bronny James get to this point in his life? Where did he come from? What was his path to getting drafted? And we're going to take a way back to when LeBron James Jr., Bronny, was born. It says he was born October 6, 2004. That was the year his dad, LeBron James, won Rookie of the Year. And that was controversial in itself. He should have won co-Rookie of the Year because a guy by the name of Carmelo Anthony was balling. To be honest with you, Carmelo Anthony could have won Rookie of the Year, but they gave it to Bron. Anyway, so LeBron James Sr. won Rookie of the Year, then had the kid. Go figure. Now, it says that as a child, Bronny played multiple sports, basketball and soccer. And he wasn't allowed to play football, unlike his dad. And for those of you who don't know, LeBron James was real good in football in high school. He's an All-American. He was getting recruited, played wide receiver, but I think he made the right choice in basketball. Now, the first time I came across Bronny was when he was, I want to say 7th, 8th grade, when he played for the AAU team Blue Chips, which is now known by Strive for Greatness, his dad's team. And let's be honest, he wasn't the best player on that team by far. You had guys by the name of Mikey Williams. Mikey Williams, awesome when he was in high school, middle school. And they were in the same grade. So Bronny played second fiddle to guys like that. Mikey Williams was so good that he was doing windmills when they were both in 7th and 8th grade. Mikey Williams was dropping 50-point games, dropping people. He was the man. What happened to him? Comment below if you want to know his story. But we're talking about Bronny today. So the first time I came across Bronny was in AAU. And, he was a shooter and hustle guy. He didn't do too much. He got the ball. If he was open, he took the shot. Every once in a while, he created for himself. But he was just a nice role player, a good teammate. Never did too much. But you always saw the talent there. Glimpses here and there, right? So, what high school did Bronny James go to? He went to a very well-named high school in Sierra Canyon. And he actually played varsity as a freshman. Should he have been on varsity or JV? I don't know. As a freshman, he got some burn here or there, but that team was crazy good. They had people like Brandon Boston Jr. He was a 5-star. He went to Kentucky. He's now in the NBA for the Clippers. They had guys like Zaire Williams. He's also a 5-star. He went to Stanford. He now plays for the Grizzlies. Zaire Williams was a first-round draft pick. Brandon Boston Jr., I believe he was a second-round draft pick. But both guys were 5-stars, right? Let's think about this. Bronny was a freshman. He had 2 5-stars on his team. So, of course, he wasn't going to be nowhere near the man that his dad was in high school when LeBron James Sr. was a freshman. He was all state, right? So Bronny was fighting for time with 2 5-stars. Dwayne Wade's son was also on that team, and Zaire Wade. Zaire Wade was a decent player. He never went on to do anything professionally wise or even to the high extent in college. I don't know what college he went to, but like in high school, he was a decent player, right? So it's another player Bronny has to fight for time, minutes, and stardom and on his high school team. So you got 2 5-stars, you got Zaire Wade, you had a couple of other key players, role players as well. So his freshman year was pretty much shot. But it says he made his high school debut when he scored 10 points off the bench against some scrubs. They beat this team 91-44. Then on December 14th, he scored 15 points. So as a freshman, he had a couple games where he was doing his thing. It says as a freshman, he only averaged 4.1 points in 15 minutes per game. So 4 points a game, it's nothing too crazy, but he was only playing 15 minutes per game. He had 2 5-stars and other D1 players on his team. Now going into his sophomore year, it says in his first preseason game as a sophomore, he scored 9 points on the first half. Then it says he tore his meniscus at practice and underwent surgery. I never knew that. I didn't know he tore his meniscus and had surgery his sophomore year. And that was 2020 during COVID times. So pretty much his sophomore season was a wash. And that sophomore season, that team, Brandon Boston Jr. went to college. Zaire Williams went to college. Zaire Wade went to college. Or I don't know what Zaire Wade. I think he just went straight to the G League or whatever. But that team was led by a junior who was also a 5-star and Amari Bailey, who ended up going to UCLA, right? So sophomore year, it's supposed to be a year where you take a little leap. You get a little better. He had meniscus surgery. And he had another 5-star awesome player in Amari Bailey, it was that guy's team. So he had to play second, maybe third fiddle again as a sophomore. COVID year, that team went 16-2. Now moving on to LeBron James junior season at Sierra Canyon. It's time to shine. But that team was led by seniors, once again, Amari Bailey and a guy by the name of Kajani Wright. Now, one of the highlights of Bronny James's high school career happened on December 4th, 2021, when he scored a game-high 19 points in a 71-53 win over his dad's high school, St. Vincent St. Mary's. And Bronny had to step up because the team's leader, Amari Bailey, was sidelined with an ankle injury. And it says that Bronny finished his junior year in an open division regional loss to Centennial High School. The score was 83-59, and Bronny was held scoreless while playing through hip surgery. Hip soreness. I don't know. Your junior year, you LeBron's kid, and you get held scoreless? The team ended the season 26-5 record, and as a junior, Bronny only averaged 8.8 points, 3.3 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.9 steals in 29 games. Now let me tell you this. When it comes to high school recruiting, your junior year is everything. That's the year where you're supposed to ball out and pretty much commit, because by the time you're a senior, the recruitment is over with for your class. So as a junior to only average 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists, it's not looking too good. I'm not thinking to myself like, all right, this kid is going to get drafted one day. But moving on to his senior year, it says that Bronny stepped into a lead role, and he was joined by his younger brother, Bryce, who is another guy we'll probably talk about in a couple years of getting drafted and playing with his older brother, and maybe his dad. I don't know how many years LeBron got left in him. But senior year, Bronny, Sierra Canyon. And pretty much as a senior, his stats went up. Nothing too crazy, though. As a senior, Bronny averaged 14 points a game. The team went 23-11. And, Bronny, he was selected to play in the McDonald's All-American game. He was selected to play in the Nike Hoop Summit. He scored 15 points, making 5 3-pointers in the McDonald's All-American game. And he had a pretty good game, right? He was in a dunk contest. He should have won, but he was BS'd towards the end, and he finished second. In the Nike Hoop Summit, he had 11 points, 4 rebounds, a steal, and a block. His team won 90-84. So, I don't know. I know why he got invited to the McDonald's All-American game, to the Nike Hoop Summit. But did he really earn it from his high school career? Let's be honest, no. He made the games though because who his dad is, and he was a good role player. But to make the McDonald's All-American game, you got to be elite, right? And he didn't have an elite high school career, but it is what it is. He got invited and he hooped, he balled out, so I guess he was supposed to be there. Now, when it comes to recruiting wise, they had Bronny a 4-star across the board, a 4-star across the board. They had him listed at 6'3", 180. Bronny is 6'1" and some change, right? It says he received offers and letters of interest from, let's see, Duke and Kentucky. He had offers from Duke and Kentucky. That was back in 2016. So they said when he was a youngster, Duke and Kentucky offered him already. And then when he entered high school, he had first appeared in the rankings by his sophomore year, which he was a 4-star. That's a stretch being a 4-star. We averaging 4 points. They had him as a top 30 player. Early in his junior season, coming off an injury, he fell to the 52nd ranked player, and he was the 49th. And he dropped 31 spots to number 60 in the rankings by time June. In his senior season, he rose in rankings from each service, and on 3 rankings had James as the 9th best player in his class. Come on, dog. I'm calling spade a spade. I'm a Bronny fan. No way in the world he was the 9th best player, right? And as we all know, he ended up deciding between Ohio State, Oregon, and USC. Which, you could have guessed that. Ohio State, his dad's from Ohio. His dad was probably going to go to Ohio State. Oregon, his dad's a Nike guy. And USC because they were living in California. They do live in California. His dad plays in LA for the Lakers. And on May 6th, he announced his commitment to USC. So now, let's talk about his college career. Prior to hitting the college, he had some heart issues, and he was sidelined for 5 months, right? Prior to that, they had him projected as a top 10 pick in the 2024 draft. I don't know, right? So in his college debut, he came off the bench, scored 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Then on December 30th, James scored his career high. So his career high in college was 15 points. It was 6 of 11 from the field, 3 assists, and they lost to Oregon State. Then on January 17th, James played a season-high 30 minutes and recorded 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. So he is a well-rounded player, right? His career high minutes, he had 11, 5, and 6. Those are good numbers. But his season average, he played in 25 games, starting 6. And he only averaged 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 19 minutes of action. And as we all know, he declared to the draft. So, and he hit the portal at the same time. So when he initially hit the portal, I'm like, all right, he's going to somewhere smaller so he can ball and get drafted. I'm thinking, I know Drew Joyce, he's the head coach for a small school, Duquesne, out in PA. My initial thoughts was, and they made the tournament this past year, he's going to Duquesne. Drew Joyce, who was LeBron's point guard back in high school, going to let him do his thing. That's my train of thought. But he got invited to do the NBA Combine, and he tested very well. He's a very athletic kid, and he impressed some people. And his last name was James, so he decided to stay in the draft. And as we all know, he got drafted in the 2nd round. Now, some people say it's nepotism, right? He only got drafted because of his dad. Not saying that's true, not saying it's false. And then you have the screenshots out there where, he got drafted in the 2nd round, whereas his college teammate had way better stats, was a way better college player, and he didn't get drafted at all, right? And it's like I said, there's photos out there where Bronny's averaging 4, his teammates averaging 14, yet Bronny's getting drafted where his teammates not. Now, is it nepotism? anything you do in today's world is politics. But what I will say is, you can call the nepotism off because, there's multiple examples out there where the greatest players of all time, sons, played their sport, went and played Division I and didn't get drafted. I'll give you an example, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had 2 sons play at the Division I level. Illinois, UCF. They were decent. None of them got drafted. And Michael Jordan's the best ever, right? So if anybody can have some nepotism getting their son drafted, it should be Jordan. I'll give you another example. Shaq. Shaq was the most dominant player. His 2 sons went to Division I. Sharif went to UCLA out of high school. He also had heart surgery or something around there, and then transferred to LSU where his dad played. Didn't get drafted. Went to the G League. I think he's still trying to fight his way in the league. His youngest son went to Texas Southern. I think he's in the transfer portal. So I named you the greatest of all time in Jordan. I named you the most dominant of all time in Shaq. Both them guys have sons. Went and played Division I, and they couldn't get their kids drafted. Therefore, that's telling me that you got to be you still have to see something in their kids to get them drafted. And Bronny, I see the potential. When we're talking about getting drafted in the second round, you're not drafting somebody in the second round who's averaging 15 plus points, right? You're drafting at that point for 5 picks left in the draft, potential, right? All the good guys are pretty much gone. All the guys who are going to make an impact right away are gone. It's the second round. Your second round pick is solely based off potential. This guy has something and we can develop and get it out of him. And that's what the Lakers saw in Bronny. Yes, they also saw who his dad was. What was his last name? Let's call a spade a spade. He did not have whatsoever a good college career. He's undersized. He's 6'1.5", right? Now, if you're really looking at his game, he doesn't really have any weakness in his game. His only weakness is he's passive. Let's think about this. Bronny, can he shoot? Yes. Can he dribble? Yes. Can he pass? Yes. Is he smart? Yes. Can he play defense? Yes. Is he athletic? Yes. We just say yes to pretty much every crucial part of being an NBA player. What's his weakness? He's not selfish. He's a pass-first type of guy. What you will want in your point guards, for the most part. So, yes, we can sit here and say it's nepotism. He got drafted because of his dad. But we can also just dig deep and read between the lines. Is it because of his dad? Because, like I said, I named Jordan kids. I named Shaq kids. Them jokers at the crib somewhere. And Bronny can do everything above average, at an above average level. I think, if you want to play a player comp, I think Bronny can be a very good Drew Holiday type of guy, maybe a Lonzo Ball type of guy, even the guy from the New York Knicks right now, Miles McBride. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. It might be a part 2. Let's see how his rookie year goes. But Bronny James, how good is he and how did he get to this point? Comment below another player, regardless of sport, who you want to know their story, their journey to get to where they are now. I'm Scoop. This is Scoop's World, the #1 sports historian. See you guys later.